What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We got some breaking news coming out of Miami. Tua Tagovailoa has fractured ribs and will not be playing this week. He will not be suiting up and playing against the Raiders this week. And I got to be honest, I feel like this might be a long-term situation. First and foremost, listen, I wish him a speedy recovery. I hope, it isn't worse than it seems. I hope he gets, to feeling better. I hope that they heal the right way. Um, and he definitely gets on the side of recovery as soon as possible, because I'm gonna be honest, outside of the injury, we need to know if he's going to be our future or not. And we need him on the field so that we can really, really understand that. I'm gonna probably try to reach out to my medical insider to see their thoughts on broken or bruised ribs, what their thoughts are. So I'll reach out to him today, and hopefully I'll have more information tonight to talk to you all about. But just the initial reading up on bruised ribs, broken or bruised ribs heal in the same way and usually get better by themselves within 3 to 6 weeks. Within 3 to 6 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. And I got to be honest with y'all, I think that this could have the potential of sidelining Tua for up to 6 weeks. They heal the same way, but the Miami Dolphins are confusing me. I mean, I just got to keep it 1,000. They are confusing me because they go from the ribs not being broken to bruised, and all of a sudden now they're fractured. The first test said they're not broken, they're just bruised, and now you take an additional test and they're fractured all of a sudden. Something's not adding up to me. It just doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is. We wish him a speedy recovery. We hope that, everything gets back to where it needs to be. I'm going to tell y'all now, there's a great chance that this could be the entire 6 weeks, maybe even 7. The reason why I say that, first of all, they got to heal. That's a minimum of 3 weeks. And second off, how Flores, we don't need to rush anything back. Basically, this man isn't going to have any reps for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. He's not going to have any reps. And then trying to get him back into the rhythm with the team. I say that this situation might turn out to be a minimum of 4 weeks and a maximum of 7 weeks because they don't like rushing people back from an injury. And this is sad news, but it's always the next man up mentality. Is Jacoby Brissett's time. We always say it's Tua time. It's Jacoby Brissett's time and they'll move Reed Sinnett up unless they go out and get, who knows, Cam Newton or make some type of big deal. I have no clue. But we could talk best case scenario, we could talk worst case scenario. I feel like it's going to be a 7-week situation. I feel like Tua may not be back until week 10. Tua may not be back on the field until week 10. And I have to be honest with y'all, this complicates a lot of things. Oh, it's so frustrating, man, because it complicates a lot of things. And for all y'all who don't understand what I mean by it complicates things, let me break that down to y'all. Let me break it down to y'all. Whether you want to believe it or not, let me show y'all why it complicates things. The Miami Dolphins are 1-1 right now. We hadn't seen much success with Tua on the offense yet this season. Short time lived. We get it, right? One game really. You can't even say the 2 quarters he played you wiped them out. I mean, the 2 series he played, just wipe it out. He's played 1 game. He played a game. Jacoby played a game. He won his game. Jacoby lost his. And we were 1-1. But a lot of people believe, and I'm going to tell y'all now, you might be shocked. I'm not going to rule it out. The Miami Dolphins might beat the Raiders this week. I mean, I know it may sound crazy to some of y'all, but I am telling y'all now, the Miami Dolphins might go on the road and beat the Raiders this week. This team is going to get their act together. I personally feel like Jacoby Brissett handles pressure a little better, even though he got pressured a lot, but he still can move the ball down the field. Now, closing the deal in the red zone is another story, but our defense is good, and the Raiders aren't going to be able to do what Buffalo did against us. Our defense is a lot. We're going to put some damage on the Raiders. We're not going to stop them from scoring, but we're going to have a game just like last year where we hold them down. It's just how much do they hold us down? And Jacoby Brissett can move the ball down the field. Now, here's where the issue comes. If the Miami Dolphins beat the Raiders with Jacoby Brissett, we're 2-1. They're going to beat the Colts with Jacoby Brissett. That's 3-1. They may lose to the Bucs, and that's 3-2, but they're going to beat the Jaguars. That's 4-2. They're going to beat the Falcons. That's 5-2. Then they have to play the Bills again. Let's even say that we lose that game, right? Let's say we lose that game. I don't think we will because I hate them. But we're 5-3. We're going to beat the Texans, 6-3. We play the Ravens. Is that the game Tua comes back and we're 6-3? Is that the game Tua comes back and we're 6-3 with Jacoby Brissett back in the driver's seat for the playoffs? And it's a short week. And Tua comes back, and if we lose to the Ravens, it's almost setting him up for failure because the fan base, if we lose to the Raiders, they're going to be like, we just start getting momentum with Jacoby Brissett. We just start getting momentum with Brissett. And now we go out and we lose to the Ravens 6-4. We'll beat the Jets with Tua 7-4. Now the Panthers, that'll be a tougher game than people think. They run the ball. Can we keep up with the score? We got the Giants. It's a real easy schedule. But the problem is when you play the Saints, the Titans, and the Patriots to end the season, it's not going to be easy. And everybody's going to put the blame on Tua. If we go 6-3 and we're sitting right there and it's Tua's time to come back in and we start to win some games but struggle and we end up like literally, if we end up literally like 10-7, which means we went 4-4 to finish the season, people are going to be very unhappy. And it's almost like a built-in scapegoat to beat up Tua. This is just not good. I wanted him to play the entire season, but once again, y'all, this goes back to pre-draft evaluation. What should have been the biggest concern for Tua Tagovailoa? Pre-draft, what should have been the biggest concern for Tua Tagovailoa was his injuries. He had several of them in college. Somebody said TD setting the narrative already. You should be happy I'm setting the narrative because I'm giving you something to watch out for that's unfair to him. I'm actually saying if that I believe that's what might happen, and it's going to be unfair to him. That's me pointing it out to y'all, so maybe y'all aren't as harsh if it goes down that way. I'm not trying to set the narrative that let's bash him if this happens. I'm actually saying I don't feel this sucks. I wanted this man to play as many games as possible. I wanted to see him against the Bucs. Even if we're not expected to win, I wanted to see him, make a few plays despite of the tough defensive matchup that's why. Fantasy panel, fan panel. Pete said Jacoby Brissett dreamed of being a Miami Dolphin all his life growing up in Palm Beach. Brissett Sunday plants his seed on his team, 38-13 versus LA. And that's another thing. That's another thing no one is talking about. What if Jacoby Brissett actually starts and moves this offense and we look really good and the playbook actually opens up like it was with Fitz? What if it does? It's going to be a whole nother controversy. King Mills said, I'm sorry if this hurts anybody's feelings, but this may be the end of Tua time. If Jacoby Brissett actually plays well and gets some chemistry and we're playing good football, I mean, nobody can rule that out. Because there has not been a significant separation of saying leaps and bounds, I'd rather have Tua over the field. I think we all would rather have Tua on the field, but there's been no gigantic separation to say, oh my gosh, I can't wait for him to get back, honestly. And that should make people nervous because Jacoby Brissett might come out and play great football. He's done it in his career. Last year, he played good football. Carlos said, how you feel about these taunting rules? I don't have a big issue with the taunting rules. Here's why. It's a rule, and it's one that you can actually control. I could see if it was a rule where it's really hard, you're putting a player in a tough situation, but it's something you can control. They put the rule in place. We hate it as fans. We like the trash talking and stuff, but now it's a rule. Obey it. Omar said he played okay football. That's why I say there hasn't been a huge separation between him and Tua. Because what type of football has Tua been playing? Decent? How far of a margin is decent and okay? It ain't that far of a margin at all. That's the point that we're making here. And Jacoby Brissett, if he gets enough reps with this team and these receivers, and Will Fuller's coming back to his disposal too, I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if we don't get off on a run, y'all. I honestly just can't rule it out. That's where it's just a situation of, man, this could end up really bad. And in a sense of Tua's future. Derek Lowe said that's what happens when you don't block. Luckily, backup is competent. Time to scheme it up and coach outweigh to win. Yeah, that is what happens when you don't block, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't block for Brissett either. And we still got to make plays. And it sucks to say this, but Jesse Davis got that man hurt. He did. Now, one thing I will say that is very unfair. I know I've heard Omar Kelly say this, and a lot of people have been saying it, especially on Twitter. If that was Tannehill that got hit, he would have got right back up and been playing and wouldn't have been that brittle. I think that's really an unfair statement. Every hit is different. We know we've seen Tannehill take that hit a million times and get right back up, but every hit is different. Every hit is different. That very one could have done the same thing to Tannehill. Everything is different. Every angle is different. Every, impact going back into the ground is different. So I think that's really unfair, that narrative that we saw Tannehill take those same hits over and over and over and get back up. This is true, but at the same token, you can't compare, Tannehill would have absorbed it. Tua's weak, he didn't absorb it. Every hit is different. Every single hit is different. That's very unfair to say that. Very unfair. Very unfair. Sure, Tannehill would have had a lot more injuries had certain things been another inch to the left or another inch to the right when he got hit. That's not even cool, honestly. Kings Mill said we need to start using these picks we have for experience. Why are we stacking all these picks? We're too young. We need experience. You know why we stacking these picks. You know why we stacking these picks. Don't play, like you don't know why we stacking these picks. We'll see. What about Jimmy G? He is a lot cheaper than Watson, and we could win now with him. Hey, Jimmy G. Well, first of all, let's back up for a second. Jimmy G. Is available out there. He's like a free agent. I haven't been following him like that. What is Jimmy G doing right now? I don't even know. I thought he was still playing with San Francisco and over there. I'm confused. I thought he was the starting quarterback still over in San Francisco. He is on the Niners. Yeah, isn't he? Isn't he starting? Jimmy G is starting for 49ers. Yeah, that's what I figured, right? But let me tell y'all something about Jimmy G. He remind me of Tua. He really does remind me of Tua. Jimmy G, I remember Jimmy G is the type of guy that he gonna make some plays here and there. He not gonna be the reason you typically lose. But he's not going to impact the game himself. That's how I feel about Jimmy G. He's not going to impact the game himself, but he's not going to make a million mistakes. And generally, he's not going to be the reason you lose. Generally. They remind me of each other. But Jimmy G is a solid quarterback in that, hey, he went to a Super Bowl, but the sad part about it is his bad throw at the end of the game lost him the game. His bad throw is what lost him the game. And yes, Jimmy G does go through progressions. I will say that. Well, you got me there. Okay, yes, he is technically better than Tua, but Tua's still younger than him. Tua's still younger than him. How can a 41-year-old Drew Brees playing with a punctured lung and 11 broken ribs and our 23-year-old starter out on thumb and bruising unacceptable? I mean, I'm familiar with Drew Brees, his career and everything, but I'm not sure. I'm actually asking you. I'm not debating you. Brees actually played on a punctured lung with 11 broken ribs. Did he play while he had it? Some of y'all, I know, because I heard somebody else say he did, and I'm like, did he? Did he really? I know you can, but did he really play with it, or are you just saying he had it before? You're saying he played with punctured lungs and 11 broken ribs? Because I'm not familiar. I know people who have had the injuries, but I'm not familiar myself to say whether or not Tua should be playing or not, regardless. I can't speak to that. If he got bruised or fractured ribs, let me back off. I don't know. I don't know if Breeze actually played with it. TD Breeze had that fat flap jacket on looking like bulletproof vest on. I remember that because I remember he was playing with that bulky vest. I remember that when he started using that, but were they not healed anymore or were they still broken? Because broken and fractured when it comes to ribs are technically the same thing. Of course, I mean, it's pretty much kind of cracked anyway, So y'all say he missed 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, okay. I mean, maybe Tua comes back in 4 weeks and we're like same situation. At least he's back, and he's dealing with the management of it. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't see how they're going to I don't see say he's they're still fractured, but we can see that they're healing. And I think my pain tolerance is fine. I can play. With this whole line, I just feel like, can't you make them worse? Because you're going to take hits with this whole line. That's just a given, ladies and gentlemen. When are we going to come to the conclusion that whoever's under quarterback is going to take hits with this line? It's just that who can make plays regardless. That's what we all need to keep in mind. Nobody's sitting here saying no other quarterback ain't going to take hits with this line. But who can make plays regardless? Because we already know that. What we going to do? Throw in the towel and say season over because the O-line? No. We got to figure out who can still make plays regardless of taking hits. TD, is you being sarcastic? No, I'm serious. We need to make sure whoever's going to be playing, they can still make plays regardless of taking hits. It's a part of the game. Every quarterback takes them every game. And my thing is, if his ribs in 3 weeks you can see where they're healing, but they're not 100%. If he's going out there still playing through it, can't you make him worse? Because he's going to take the hits regardless. He's going to take the hits regardless. So if you take a hit and you land on your chest or your ribs or your side and they're crunched, it's like, don't you just ruin all the progress that was made on them? Because they're really built to stop the impact in your inner organs and stuff, like your rib cage. They're there for a reason. There's a cage protection. And if that protection is constantly having force applied to it, can't you ruin any process of healing just taking hits? So that's why I feel like it's going to be, they might just wait till it's 100% healed. And that could be up to 7 weeks. So this is a tough situation, man, especially for Tua. Because the reality is he played 9 games last year. He played 1 game this year because you can't count the last game. Only 2 possessions. We don't count that. Just like some people don't want to count his Raiders game or Denver game, right? even though he played majority of them. But 9 games plus the one this year is 10. By the time he comes back, he may only have 7 more games. Okay, let mommy know, okay? He may only have 7 games, and then in 2 seasons, we'll have 1 full season of evaluation, but it's also both of them are coming off of an injury. The first one, well, you don't really want to evaluate him. He was rehabbing and trying to get back from his hip injury. Now, are we going to be dealing with a situation where you really don't want to evaluate him? He had fractured ribs, and he had to get back into it. He missed several weeks out of rhythm, X, Y, and Z. All of that stuff, when technically we still ain't seen him in rhythm. We still ain't seen him in rhythm. The only semblance of rhythm that we've seen with Tua in the last year and a half is, I don't even call it rhythm. I just call it a spark, which was the game in Arizona. It wasn't even rhythm. It was a spark. When you're in rhythm, you're having about 3 really good games back to back to back before you kind of like, oh, well, that was a rough one, you know? I have yet to see him in rhythm. But it's still a small sample size. And right now it's shaping up for us to get about 16 to 17 games worth of evaluation in 2 years. And going into a third season in Miami, if we miss the playoffs again, there will be major changes in Miami in the offseason. Will it be the quarterback position? But y'all tell me what you think. And this is why I said earlier on Steven's stream, the situation for Tua in Miami is getting worse and worse and worse. His odds of being our long-term franchise quarterback is getting worse and worse and worse. Even if it ain't his fault. Let me make sure I'm clear on that. It's getting worse and worse and worse. His odds of being our franchise quarterback. It's just the truth. The media in the offseason, when they talk about what Miami needs to do, everybody's going to be saying the same thing. Everybody. They need to fix the quarterback position in the O-line. They're not just going to focus on the O-line. They're going to say both of those combinations, they need to fix the quarterback position in the O-line. And the crazy thing is, as it stands right now, having $70 million next year and all that draft capital, they'll be able to do both. If they wanted, they could bring in a $40 million quarterback and get at least 2 really good offensive linemen and give away all that draft capital. Get rid of it. They would be able to do that. Now, but somebody said Tua, comeback player of the year. They told me he'd be the comeback player this year. And I told y'all the comeback player of the year would be Dak Prescott. And he's definitely leading the way, in my opinion. He's definitely leading the way, in my opinion. Dak Prescott is on that comeback player of the year. But now you saying he'll be the comeback player of the year next year? Do you see how many people, impact players, just got hurt? And you saying Tua's going to be the comeback player of the year in year 3? Only unfortunate thing, if he is, it would probably be on another organization. That's just the truth. I want to take a quick poll in the comment section on a scale of 1 to 10. Shout out to William Monday, just becoming the newest member of TDPHINSTALK. Appreciate you, homie. Thanks for supporting the channel, man. Hold on. I want to click on it. You just joined with the Pro Bowl status. That's what's up, homie. Appreciate you, man. I got to take a quick poll on a scale of 1 to 10 real quick, y'all. With this injury, if it does keep Tua out 7 weeks, what is the likelihood that Tua's our starting quarterback in year 3? 10 being absolutely guaranteed he will, and 1 being not gonna happen at all. And I want y'all to be objective, whether you're a huge fan of his or not. If he's out the full 7 weeks, What is the likelihood that he will be our starting quarterback in year 3? Put it in the comment section. I know I'm gonna be wrong on this, but I like to eye stats, and based off of all the numbers that I'm seeing, I'm just gonna give a guesstimation because I could be wrong. I'm not tallying it all up, but basically what I'm seeing in the comment section is like an average of 4. I'm seeing like an average grade of 4. And this is why I said earlier, and some people got mad. His chances of becoming our franchise quarterback just keeps getting lower and lower and lower. We already have underwhelming play at the position with the trash O-line. At least for now, they look trash as a unit. I don't see how they go into year 3 like this. It's highly unlikely. And I'm going to say that his chances are about a 3 in my opinion. Now, if he comes back in those last games, if Jacoby Brissett isn't playing well, because I'm telling y'all now, if Jacoby is rocking and rolling with this offense, Tua will not see the field if he's back 100% healthy. If Jacoby has this team in playoff position fighting, he will not see, Tua will not see the field. Oh, wait. Let me take that back. He might see the field. Because if they don't feel like we could win a Super Bowl with this team anyway, even if Jacoby got it rocking and rolling, he might see the field. Because let me tell you why. This is my conspiracy theory part of it. I think that if we're rocking and rolling with Jacoby and Tua come, like literally, say we're 6-3, something like really good, 7-3 or something like that. Just imagine that. And Tua's like, I'm 100% healthy now. If they put that man on the field, I'm telling y'all now, they want to try to prove that he was the reason we didn't make the playoffs. Unless he comes out there and prove it. But I'm telling y'all now, I don't know. If they did something like that after Jacoby goes 7-3, I feel like they setting him up. I feel like it's a setup. I feel like it's a straight up setup. Man, we were rocking and rolling and he was supposed to be the better guy and we didn't make it. Oh, because that's how you'll get a fan base mad. That's how you'll get a fan base mad. Be 7-3 with 7 games left. And you need to go 5-2. And if you're lucky, you need to go 4-3 and you don't make the playoffs. Boy, oh boy. No, that's how you get a fan base mad. That's how you'll start to be able to sell the justification of whatever extreme or crazy trade you make. Boy, oh boy. See, you going on Dan Mitchell today? He didn't ask me to come through. If he asked me to come through, I'll go over there anytime. TD, B-Flow needs veteran players helping right these youthful mistakes situations. What's killing Davis is supposed to be the experience on the O-line. The coaches must take responsibility here. I 1,000% agree. But we can keep on ignoring the elephant in the room. They thought they were going to get a guy who can mask all of those errors, who can still make these guys look good. I'm telling y'all now, on all of these pressures and blitzes, first of all, none of y'all would care a single thing about pressures if they were converted. None of y'all would even be bringing pressures up if they were converted. Let me show you the example of converting a pressure. Go watch week 1 New England Patriots versus Miami Dolphins and take you a good hard look at Mac Jones. That's the definition of converting when pressured. Sending blitzes on this man all day and he just hitting his hot. He reading what needs to happen. If we were converting our pressures, it don't matter if it was Brissett or Tua, nobody would be mentioning pressures if they were being converted. because nobody says a single thing when Mahomes running to the sideline for his life. He cuts back and throw it and finds Kelsey and he runs up for 15 yards. Nobody says a word about pressures. I still got people lying. Oh, the Chiefs got him a great line. That's why he's so good, TD. Mahomes be running for his life every game. Why do you think he's known for improving? Why do you think he's known for making nothing out of something? Y'all, and that's what's crazy about it. A quarterback can be running for their life, but since they convert in the process, they got a good O-line. Do y'all not notice that? A quarterback can be running for his life, but since the quarterback converts regardless, they got a good line. Kyler Murray running for his life all day, but he converts. They got at least a decent O-line, TD. Do y'all not get that? Do y'all not get the hypocrisy there? That's why I'm telling y'all, when we watch the film and pressure is coming at our quarterback, but there's a wide open man and he gets sacked, if he would have ran away from the pressure and hurried up and made that play and still got hit, we wouldn't be complaining because we still moving the ball. Let's go. Whew, that was tough, but we moving the ball. Russell Wilson has a trash O-line and nobody ever recognizes that because he still gets it done and converts. Be out there running circles and this and that and throwing on the run. Completion, though. Nobody's paying attention to it. So what some of y'all need to realize is there are some other quarterbacks in the NFL that has a quarterback that has an O-line that sucks and still gets it done. And for the life of me, everybody who keeps throwing up, Tua only has 1.9 seconds. He only has 2 seconds. Well, if you'd actually call your protections correctly, you might have 3. Or if you see the blitzer coming off the edge, as soon as you hike the ball, start running right, and now you extend your play. Nobody want to give ownership for that type of stuff. If you see the blitz coming, maybe you want to start as soon as you snap the ball, run the opposite way while looking in the secondary. Mahomes do it 30% of the game. He sees the blitz. You know what? I'm not even going to call my protection on that blitz because as soon as I hike it, I'm running to the right. Hike, running to the right because he know where he running to the right. Throws it. Got him. If Mahomes sat in that pocket, his time to throw would probably decrease by 1.5 seconds. But he extends the play. But y'all want to ignore that so that you can stick on to your points that make no sense. And the Dolphin Nation is waking up, ladies and gentlemen. They're starting to see some of this stuff really doesn't make sense. They complain about 1.9, but yet, when I watch Kyler Murray, Mahomes, and guys like that back to pass, why are they running for their life right away? But they convert the play, so people ignore it and say, that O-line at least decent. That O-line at least decent. It's just the reality, man. It's the reality. It's the truth. We're in a tough situation that it could either be a blessing in disguise or it could be a disaster. This situation right now. It could be a blessing in disguise or it could be a disaster. Some people would say, look at the O-line. Liam Eichenberg started at left tackle. We're at least decent over there then. Austin Jackson comes back to be the starter. Everything breaks loose. Everything just gets crazy. Kills me, man. It kills me. But anyway, man, this is what it is. This is what it is, man. It is what it is. The Miami Dolphins need to come up with a game plan for Jacoby Brissett for us to be successful this week because we need this victory. We need to beat the Raiders. See, do you think Austin Jackson is a bust? I don't think anybody is a bust until they finished their third year. I don't think anybody is a bust until you finish your third year. I'm going to subscribe to Ball Game on this one, and it makes all the sense in the world. Your average time to throw the ball is 3 Mississippi. Yeah, okay. Yeah. TD, look at your DM and IG. I mean, I'm looking at my DM and IG, and I got 14 messages. The Texans just activated Jeff Driscoll, just FYI. I got a lot of messages in IG right now, so I'll have to evaluate it at some point. Give me a second, y'all. Breon crazy, man. All right, give me a second. I'm trying to pull something up real quick. So yeah, we actually have what a doctor said about his ribs. I'm glad the homie sent this to me. Maybe I'll play it. It's 1 minute and 28 seconds. Let's hear what a professional has to say about Tua's ribs.
Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa will be out week 3 this week at least, and maybe longer. This is Dr. David Chow, ProFootballDoc.com. We already said it was unlikely that Tua would play against the Raiders this week. Meanwhile, Derek Carr and his ankle would be fine. Because when you're talking about multiple areas, whether ribs, fractures, or cartilage injury, and the young quarterback would unlikely be able to practice, difficult to start and play the guy with a game day injection. With multiple rib fractures now confirmed by head coach Brian Flores based on additional testing, this makes it even harder to do rib blocks because you'd have to do multiple rib blocks, increasing the risk. But also it increases the chance of a punctured lung with a second hit, and a flak jacket cannot protect completely against that. With this news, it's not only that he won't play week 3, I think it's unlikely he plays week 4. It's even possible that he goes on a short 3-week IR stint. Rib fractures start to heal in 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And if he can't play now, 1 week out from the fractures, plural, it makes it unlikely he'll be able to play the following week either. Let's continue to watch the news on Tua and the Dolphins. For now, it's Jacoby Brissett going forward.
There you hear. You just heard from a medical professional who basically said, and I didn't even read that. I just got the news and said, we got to talk about this. It's multiple fractures. The doc said it don't even start healing for 2 to 3 weeks. Then on top of that, it could even be longer than that. But he might go on a brief 3-week IR stint. And they probably will play. Now, that's the thing. If they place him on IR, I think the minimum time is 3 weeks. If he gets placed on IR, then we know for a fact that a minimum he's not going to play for 3 weeks. I think that's what the requirement is for IR. If you're on IR, you got a minimum where you're not going to be playing for 3 weeks. And the doctor said you can't even use the actual jacket because you'd have to have multiple block things on it. You can't even use the jacket to protect him in this situation when there's multiple fractures. They said that might even increase the likelihood of injury. And it could lead to a punctured lung. I think it's pretty much set in at a minimum. At a minimum, 3 games he's not playing. But wait, let's see if they put him on IR, because they're not going to waste something that they already know. If they know he probably ain't going to play for 3 games at least, they're going to put him on IR so they can utilize the extra roster spot. They know that. So look out for the next couple of days to see if he goes on IR. And as soon as he goes on IR, a minimum, I think, of 3 weeks before you're even allowed to come back. NFL IR rules. I got to make sure because they changed the IR rules in 2021. All right. All right. Unlimited players can return from a team's injured reserve list in 2021, and there are eligible after missing 3 games rather than 8 weeks. They used to make it 8 weeks, but the new rule this year, because the COVID thing, just in case players are in and out, a minimum of 3 games you're allowed. If they put him on IR, he's not even allowed to come back for 3 games. Not even allowed. And they can keep him on there until he's healthy to keep that extra roster spot. So I'm just going to be looking out to see if they place him on IR. Do y'all know if they've already placed him on IR? Because I'm not sure yet. I haven't seen anything in that regard yet. Not 3 games, 3 weeks. No, sir. 3 games, the official NFL rule, and they're eligible after missing 3 games rather than 8 weeks. It used to be a week rule, 8 weeks and you can come back. But this year, it's a 3-game rule. Not 3 weeks. Matter of fact, if it is 3 weeks, that's even worse. Because if they don't put him on IR right away, then if it's 3 weeks, they're just kicking the can. Bye week does not count as a game. Well, the bye week is late in the season for us anyway. It's not even going to be applicable. 3 weeks is 3 games. Not if we had an early bye, it wouldn't be. 3 games would mean 4 weeks if we had a bye, but we don't have a bye until late in the season. So that all of that is irrelevant. Y'all arguing back and forth about 3 games, 3 weeks. At the end of the day, that means he would miss Raiders, Colts, Tampa Bay at a minimum. At a minimum. At a minimum. All these people saying sign Cam Newton. Sign Cam Newton. Sign Cam Newton. The only thing, let me say you something. I really don't like Cam Newton with this team, but the only intrigue for me is his ability to be mobile against with the bad O-line. That's my only intrigue. Is his ability to be mobile with the bad O-line. And you'd pay pennies for him. Yeah, you pay penny. You wouldn't have to pay much for him at all. God, somebody just said a comment in the comment section that I gotta be honest, it's like I feel deep down in my soul that it's true. That I feel deep down in my soul that it's true. And it's going to be the worst thing to ever happen to Tua. And I'm about to read the comment that was just said. Matter of fact, I'll just put it on the screen. Because if this happened, there is 0 chance Tua will make it to a year 3. Let me find the comment. Read the screen, y'all. Read the screen. If y'all see this happen, that's it. It's over. And I ain't going to rule it out. Somebody said the stupidest comment I've ever read, but when you watch these games, if you see this happen, we're going to It's people just like you, always saying a comment stupid, and then when it happened, this is why you be so convicted to make justifications of why. Somebody said, nah, this line's still bad. Let me tell y'all something. You know what's so unfair to the O-line? Everybody always complaining about why everybody trying to beat Tua up and attack Tua and come at Tua. Ladies and gentlemen, mark my freaking words. If Tua is out the next 3 weeks, watch everybody try to nitpick everything the O-line does wrong. Even if we have success, they are going to try to destroy this O-line over the next few weeks. Because if they play well, they know what they know. Oh my gosh. If the O-line play well while he's out, oh my gosh, they are still going to try to rip him apart. They are going to try to justify it by all means necessary. If this O-line plays well versus the Raiders and we win, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Somebody said, you mean the same thing you do with Tua? Well, guess what? Call it even. Because that's the only reason I do it with him anyway, because y'all so unfair to the rest of this team just for him. For the record, that's what people need to understand. Only reason I point out Tua's flaws so much is because y'all seem to ignore him just to beat up on everybody else on this team like they're not Dolphins. Like everybody else on this team aren't Miami Dolphin players too. They're all Miami Dolphin players. And when I see them all getting beat up, but we ignore the flaws of our quarterback, but we could just beat up everybody else for what they're not doing for him. No, somebody got to call it out. What can we talk about what Tua ain't doing too? That's why I talk about it so much too. That's the point of it too. So yes, just like exactly how I do Tua. Now let's see the hypocrisy. Let's see you support the line regardless. If they play well, let's make sure that you give them praise and start talking common sense. Why wasn't Tua able to do this? Now that's y'all biggest fear. Y'all biggest fear is while he's out this week versus the Raiders and going forward, however long, that O-line step up and play well. Boy, if they do it, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. The new narratives are going to be so crazy in how they justify it. Dolphins going to do something like, they move Hunt to right tackle and push, they're going to make a movement or two on the O-line. They're going to have two different people because they all still played trash, right? They're going to make a little subtle moves. They might take Austin Jackson, put him at guard, put Liam Eichenberg at tackle. They might do something, and the O-line look good. See, they just didn't make the right moves before. Now we got it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. That's their biggest fear, ladies and gentlemen. So they already ready to say this O-line sucks anyway. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. So it ain't possible for them to get better. It just ain't going to happen for them to get better. But if somebody say Tua just ain't going to be able to improve, he just doesn't look good, he's just not the guy, it's World War III. Do y'all notice the hypocrisy of what I be talking about on these streams? It's so easy to just automatically say it's impossible. It's not going to happen for the O-line to play well. But somebody say, I don't think Tua just got it in him and he can't play any better than he is now. Oh, you a hater. You act like the man can't improve. Y'all see the hypocrisy I be talking about? The same hypocrisy. Like the players on the O-line ain't Miami Dolphin players too. Y'all exposing yourself. You all in the comment section exposing yourself. This O-line sucks. They can't get better. It's not going to happen. But somebody keep that same energy about Tua and they the biggest haters in the world. You're exposing yourself right now. Y'all go back and scroll up in the comment section in my little rant for the last 3 minutes and see all those people that was like, this line sucks. They can't do it. They never will, blah, blah, blah. They exposing themselves. Because you say something like that about they quarterback. It's World War III. If they Miami Dolphin players, why don't we defend them all? So we could stop the bantering back and forth. But I'm just supposed to sit around and let y'all beat everybody else up and say nothing about Tua and the things he needs to improve. Use other people to make excuses about him. That's what y'all do. And I'm just supposed to sit back and watch y'all run these false narratives to make sure he looks like the godly player that he ain't showed up to be. Kills me, man. You beat on Tua every video because we get Tua excuses every video. You see how that worked? Ain't that easy? That's an easy rebuttal to you. You beat on Tua every video because we get Tua excuses every video. And the truth is, I don't even beat on the man. I just tell the truth and y'all don't like it. You either good or you ain't. You playing like trash? Y'all can call it beat on him. He playing like trash. Get over it. Him playing like trash and me saying he does not change anything. What are you changing? By saying stop beating on him. Still play like trash. That O-line Sunday, play like trash. It's okay to say that, though. I'll get out of here with that crap. Hit that like button, man. We got 461 people watching. What are we going to do? What is the Miami Dolphins going to do, y'all? Anyway, man, that's your breaking news. We already been live going on an hour. Like I told y'all, I actually want to finish these PFF grades, but this news took precedent. I'm sure Larry and other people, they'll be live talking about it. But like I said, and I'm going to say it for the last time, your biggest worry is going to be if this O-line plays well. If this O-line plays well moving forward. That's going to be your biggest concern. Well, other teams ain't sending as much pressure now. Why? Why do they feel comfortable to send pressure against Tua, but now they ain't sending as much? Why? Your biggest fear is this O-line having any success. And you better hope they don't go get Cam. You better hope they don't go get Cam, whose expertise at least will be able to avoid the pressure some of the time and make plays. TD, not sure how that is a worry. I'm not talking about you, Brent. I'm talking about the Tuaneers. It's a worry to them because this O-line play well and they start to show. The only difference, that's going to be an issue. You remember last year when Fitz was in the game, were we complaining about the O-line? Think about that. Last year when Fitz was in the game, were we complaining about the O-line? He was still running for his life, but were we complaining like we're complaining now? We weren't complaining because he was still converting plays. We were still converting plays. It's just the reality, man. Rich V, I can't post a link because I got to get out of here. But next time I'm live, bro, I got you, bro. If I even see you, I'll try to remember to say, hey, Rich V, you want to come on? Because it seemed like you got some things you want to say. I got you, homie. But I got to actually get out of here. I've never ever wanted to come on a show this bad. Please post the link, TD. Bro, I got you next time, bro. I'm not running from you or trying not to have you on. It's just that I got a roll. I've already been live for about an hour. I was taking care of some business and stuff. So I got you though. I promise you. And sorry to have to cut and run right now. But I actually do have to go. All right, but Chad said, with having a first read offense, why did we get all these weapons and receivers but not use them? Because they expected to use them. Y'all, everybody's asking a whole bunch of questions. Man, I gotta go, man. But everybody's asking a whole bunch of questions with the dead end answer. Like, it doesn't make sense, but they keep ignoring the answer that I'm giving them that makes sense. Because you're right. Why would they get all these weapons when they're a one read offense? And they're calling the plays for it to be one read. Because they didn't expect to have Tua Tagovailoa as their quarterback this year. They thought that they had Deshaun Watson in the bag. And they were never going to run a one-read situation. They had all the weapons to open it up for Watson. And if the pressure was coming, Watson gets up out of there. Watson gets up out of there. You know the fastest thing to make you stop blitzing a team? The quarterback making you pay with his legs. You want to see teams not blitz us and make it easy for the O-line? You got to have a quarterback that's making you pay for it every time. It's that easy, y'all. Y'all want to make this game complicated. You want to stop teams sending pressure? You got to get a quarterback that makes them pay for it every time. They ain't even got to throw the ball. You want to send an overload to the right? The left. Up. I got you on the right. And I just picked up 26 yards. Here, keep sending it. They're going to sit they funky behind right back in that zone and quarterback contain. Them defense going to sit there and quarterback contain. Because another thing teams know about a guy like Deshaun Watson, if you blitz me 3 times in a row, you might even get to me twice, but the one time that you miss makes up for all 3 plays. Thank you for the 40 yards. He's still going to be under pressure. He's still going to get hit. He's still going to go down. But at least 1 out of 3 times he going to make you pay. And we ain't punt. He going to make you pay. Shout out to the homie Ian Graven. Seems like you got to get a Lamar Jackson. I was just going to say, Lamar will make you pay. Lamar will sit right behind this O-line and be like, 40-yarder. Yeah. Am I lying, y'all? Yes or no in the comment section. If Lamar Jackson was behind this terrible O-line, is he not going to make a pay? Yes or no in the comment section. Please, yes or no in the comment section. Please, yes or no in the comment section. Because I got to go. That's the last question I'm asked. He going to make you pay. That's the only way you can bat it. If your O-line isn't as great. It's the only way you can bat it, y'all. Watson hike that ball. He see a free blitzer. You may have speed around that edge and you're running with the momentum, but my first step finna get you anyway. My first step finna get you anyway. Oh, it's coming. Just like the plays where Tua had free corners coming off the edge, Lamar would have hiked. Oh, he coming free. It don't matter because my initial burst is still going to take off faster than you already running with your momentum. It's the truth, man. I got to get out of here. This TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I'll come back to y'all at some point and keep it going with the PFF grades, all right? Tua, we just got to keep our eye out. Are the Miami Dolphins going to make a decision to put him on IR or take it week by week by week? We shall see. We don't know. We'll see. See y'all soon. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all fans up. Hit that like button. I'll catch y'all soon. Have a blessed day. Peace. I am out.